In 2014 and 2015, LEGO Minecraft delivered 2 solid waves of minifigure scale playsets, covering most of the essentials of the game: the forest, the desert, the snowy plains, the end, the nether, and even a few structures like a dungeon and mineshaft. With the basics out of the way and a visual style firmly established, the 2016 wave of sets was freed up to tackle more niche subject matter. And given the theme's growing fan base, LEGO felt confident making larger sets too. All of this came together to create a golden age for LEGO Minecraft. From 2016 to 2018, we got to see some of the theme's best sets. In celebration of their launch 10 years ago, today we'll be taking a look at every 2016 set in exquisite detail. So hey, what are we waiting for? Let's dive into the golden era of LEGO Minecraft. The first set that we're going to be taking a look at today is simply titled the Iron Golem. This would have been our first introduction to the Iron Golem mob in a LEGO Minecraft set. And there's certainly been a lot of iterations of the Iron Golem ever since. Unsurprisingly, we're still in the Steve Alex heavy era of the theme, so you do get Alex in this set, simply equipped with a diamond pickaxe. There's a few other familiar faces, like a zombie as the villain of this set, and then you also get a baby pig, a mob that I feel you can really never have too many of. And then of course we have an Iron Golem, but where is he? And that leads us into the gimmick of this set. Much like you do in the game, you construct the Iron Golem from 4 iron blocks, depicted here with a mix of light bluish gray and white, and then with a pumpkin on top. And then the Iron Golem can emerge from the ground. It's a simple function, but just because of the sheer size of the golem, it does take up a lot of brick to accomplish it rather seamlessly. And here is that Iron Golem, the first version of him. You can see that he uses ball joints for arms, which gives him a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of unsightly colors though there because of it. Lots of dark bluish gray and light bluish gray, where you'd prefer to see more tan than whites. But of course, LEGO blatantly refuses to recolor these for unknowable reasons. The great thing about this figure though is just the sheer number of prints on him. I forgot how many prints this actually used. There's 3 of the classic 1x2 Iron Golem tile. You got the 1x3 on the arm, and then of course the unique head, which also serves as the villager and now the witch and pillager heads. And then you also get the 2x2 chestplate piece. Really, really great stuff. Unfortunately today, with how they're doing the arms on the Iron Golems, they don't have the arm printing. So these prints have kind of been all lost to time. All you get now is the chestplate print. And I absolutely love having all this variety for customs. And the printed pieces generally are pretty cheap, thanks to the affordable nature of this set in particular. So if we take a look at that function again here, you can see that this huge section of terrain just hinges up, and the entire Iron Golem assembly hinges backwards, pushing the ground up. It's pretty slick. The rest of the build is great, classic, simple LEGO Minecraft as well. Lots of terrain. You can, in fact, dig up the stone here to uncover, I believe, it's an iron ore, which is always great just to get these little blocks here. And there's even this small little section of a player base, complete with window, furnace, and a crafting table and a torch. Just the good old essentials. Great for the smallest box set of the wave. We're skipping ahead a few set numbers here, but by piece count, this is indeed the second smallest set of the wave. And this, of course, is the Wither. And for many years, it served as the only way to get a Wither mob for LEGO Minecraft officially, making it quite a desirable set. Prior to the release of this year's Wither Battle, I believe this figure was going for at least $30 used. And outside of the microworlds, this would have only been LEGO's second time exploring the Nether, following up on 2015's The Fortress. And here you of course get another section of the fortress, this crazy contraption, and then the stand that the Wither requires to be able to stand up. But let's go ahead and take a look at the figures. This would have been a pretty exciting set back in 2016. Lots of new stuff here, including the brand new Wither skeletons. This was the first appearance of that long skeleton leg, which has since been repurposed in some themes outside of LEGO Minecraft. I believe I recall seeing it as a microphone stand in Friends, which definitely took me off guard. It would make more sense that the set included 3 Wither skeletons, but unfortunately you only get 2, so you can't really genuinely craft the Wither like you did the Iron Golem. You also get Steve in this set, nothing too exciting, but he does have some iron armor, which is nice to see. LEGO sets back in 2016 and earlier did a lot better job of including armor in their sets. I wish they would bring more armor back. I know I've said it many times before, but I think they just don't want to cover up their graphic design work, and so they just omit armor altogether, but just include it, throw it in a chest, throw it on an armor stand, it's not hard. And then there's the Wither. The Wither, well, he's fine. He's super goofy looking. Here we can actually compare the new Wither and the old Wither side by side, and maybe I was too harsh on the new Wither. They're both pretty weird looking. It makes me want to revisit my own custom design. Maybe my custom design is weird looking too. I think the Wither's just weird looking. Regardless, I don't think either of these solutions are perfect themselves. He's a hard mob to do, especially at this scale. So let's go ahead and take a look at this build here, because it is pretty cool. So this little mechanism here, in case the TNT didn't give it away, is indeed a TNT cannon that Steve is using to fight the Wither. Pretty awesome. So the set comes with 2 TNT blocks, and this is meant to be a dispenser of sorts. That's what the little bit of the axle hole texture is. And then you've got the redstone contraption around the back. It's very clever, very effective, lots and lots of fun. And so really the name of the game here in this set is Destruction, which is also exactly what you get when you fight the Wither himself. So the whole fortress can actually collapse. If you pull this stopper out here, it's a 12 long Technic axle, that loosens up these 2 portions of the bridge, which either the Wither can knock down or your TNT cannon can knock down. And the designer's actually done a really good job of hiding those axles away so it's not big and obnoxious. And to make sure that your brittle red doesn't snap, there's actually these rubber stoppers to soften the blow. That was really unexpected, but super, super cool. Was it because that LEGO was starting to realize they had produced faulty elements that cracked easily? Or was this just to save parents the pain of hearing the smashing on the table? Who knows, but it's a great feature regardless. There's a few other fun little bits I'll point out, like the fire block that they were making. This was before the custom one that they did. I really do love this design though, it's perfect. We've got some quartz ore here to mine, mushrooms, and then nether wart here off on the side. But there you go, that's gonna be the Wither set. These sets just keep getting better and better. Introducing the End Portal, LEGO's only ever Stronghold set. We, of course, recently just got another End Portal set, but it's really great to see the whole structure here done very, very well. This set, as you'll soon see, captures all of the essentials: the portal, some of the side hallway chests, and then the library, of course, too. But let's quickly take a look at the minifigures. This set introduced the series' first cave spider. It is practically identical to the regular spider, simply shortened down by a single block to give them some sort of size differentiation. I'd like to see them try something a little bolder with a smaller design in the future, but for the time being, they've practically been using this same design ever since. You get 2 Endermen here holding stone blocks, which I don't believe they can pick up. They can probably pick up gravel though, so we'll pretend it's gravel. And then you get decked out Diamond Steve, and I believe the instructions have him dual wielding here with an iron pickaxe in one hand and a diamond sword in the other. Really, really great stuff, even going as far as giving him diamond pants. You love to see it. So like many LEGO Minecraft sets of the era, this set makes use of hinges for some inset reconfigurability, which I think is really fun. It just gives you a few different ways to experience the set. We'll start with the smallest bit here, the treasure hallway. And so it's exactly what you expect. I love the use of the nozzle pieces for iron gates. I think that works incredibly well, and it's a design that I've repurposed in custom things too. The chest, as far as stronghold chests go, is extremely unrealistic. I feel those things have absolute garbage in them. This one has 2 diamonds, redstone, and an iron ingot. I'd feel pretty lucky if I came across diamonds in a stronghold chest. It's usually just what, apples maybe? Yeah, pretty sweet chest. But yeah, really great detail with that iron bar design. You'll see that throughout the model. It's just like here as we go into the library, you're seeing the bookshelf design that they've been using ever since. I wonder if this was the first set to introduce the bookshelves. It very well might be. Kind of perfect for that scale. You get the spider web to just that octagonal bar piece. Their best attempt at a chandelier with the classic torch design. They've taken some liberties with the layout, but I feel it captures all the most important parts of what you want to see in the Stronghold library, maybe with the exception of a chest, but we did get a chest over here. And all of that opens up on into the main event, the portal room itself. This was really exciting to see back in 2016, where you'll get 12 printed 1x1 Eyes of Ender all around the frame. And I think the designer really actually did a great job giving you the illusion that this portal is floating here above the lava, but it's still plenty sturdy, locked into the back wall, the staircase, and then it's got the clear supports here as well. But yeah, the use of that hinge piece in particular, I think is brilliant. It's just a really subtle way to connect these sections together. And then the cool play feature here, as you might expect, is that you have the ability to light the portal. So if you slide this over, the lava is replaced by a black base plate. Not really exciting. I wish they would have put some pips down there for texture or something, but it looks kind of more like a portal. Looks less like lava. Let's put it that way. The one strange omission in this set is definitely the silverfish spawner. I'm guessing LEGO just didn't feel like making silverfish, and so they would have thought it awkward to include the spawner but no silverfish, so they just omitted it altogether. Kind of unfortunate, but as you know, we'd eventually get a silverfish mold, and it's one of my favorite Minecraft mobs. Unfortunately, exclusive to one very expensive set, and that too has become a very expensive mob over the years. And this is Minecraft after all, so you have to have a bit of mining opportunity, and there's some emerald hidden over here in the snow. I guess that kind of is a fun thing to note too. This is an exposed stronghold by the look of it, because you've actually got snow covering the portal room's frame here, which is cool. That's kind of like the dream seed after all. Really cool set. I've always enjoyed this one. I think it just does a really good job of focusing all the most important parts of a stronghold down into a reasonably sized set. Hopefully though, we'll see LEGO remake this. Or better yet, hopefully Mojang will redo the stronghold. I feel that endgame content in general is in need of a revamp. Next up is the Jungle Treehouse, the Waves player base. So you might recall the First Night House from 2014 and then the Desert Outpost from 2015. This fills that gap, and it is definitely the most epic one yet. This was a set that I had never gotten to experience firsthand, and it was just so much fun being able to build this for the first time. I do really love the jungle biome, and I could see a younger version of myself wanting to build this in the game. Let's quickly take a look at the minifigures. You've got both Steve and Alex in this set, which is pretty nice. There's some good old generic mobs in here too, like the Creeper, an adult sheep, and then you've got a skeleton as well, so good variety of enemies. And then making its debut in this set is the Ocelot. This would have been the first cat variant that LEGO ever did, and I think it's pretty much perfect. The Ocelot hasn't been included in too many sets since. LEGO has tended to focus more on pandas in recent years, but we still haven't seen a brown panda quite yet. And this set is just filled with so much fun stuff. Where there is a creeper, I think you know what comes next. An explosion. And so you can blow up the stairway leading into the house itself. Super simple. It uses the same mechanism that actually appeared in the Desert Outpost and the Polar Igloo from last year. And you can see that there is a lava pool and a water pool beneath the whole structure, and obsidian, mineable obsidian, where the two meet. Off to the side, of course, is the sheep pen where the sheep is housed. You've got all sorts of jungle trees, which is really cool, and that's what the treehouse is built atop. Lots of open space in the back, which is easy to utilize. Another one of those fire pieces too. You gotta make sure your treehouse doesn't burn down. That is the one downside to building on top of a lava pit. But there are advantages too, such as the rigging of one of my favorite Minecraft traps, and that's the trapdoor up here. It is, of course, oversized to accommodate oversized minifigures. By sliding the vine over, you can send the skeleton tumbling into the lava below. Or Alex, or Steve, whoever you see fit. It works so reliably, and just sliding it back over resets it. Really, really love that. In the covered structure, you'll find a singular bed surrounded by some potted plants, which is really nice. Over on the other side is where the duo stores their gear in a chest, and they've also got a crafting table. Vines provide access to the upper lookout area, and then the top of this tree too. And there also is actually a small garden here on the side, simply with 2 wheat crops in the tree itself. And to make sure they actually grow, one of the two has actually placed down some water on top of the tree, which flows down here. And even if your creeper blows up your staircase, this ends up being an alternate route up the base. It's a waterfall elevator. We've all used this to get in bases before, but to see it implemented in a Lego set as cleverly as this is awesome. And the greatest feature of this is you can bring Alex or whoever up this and it locks into place. How cool is that? Simple mechanism, just relying on some gravity here essentially. But again, it just works so reliably. It's really satisfying, like all the features in this set. And on top of that too, this is big. This was way bigger than I thought. Hopefully nothing falls off here, but this will give you an idea of just the size. There's a lot of base plates that go down before you start building up the base. And honestly, by Lego Minecraft standards, this is a pretty respectable looking build. Definitely makes me want to see Lego try more large scale player bases like this in unique environments. It's just got so much charm to it. And somehow the sets just keep getting larger. This is the fortress. Not to be confused with the Nether Fortress, this is a custom structure. In fact, one that seems to be styled off a lot of the classic big Lego castles of the era. Think fantasy era, kingdoms, and then the castle theme after that as well. It's just got a lot of that energy, but of course done up in Minecraft stylings. So this is a big set, one of the largest ever. We gotta look this up. All right, we got the mountain cave, the village, the llama village, the crafting table, the ocean monument. This is the 6th largest Lego Minecraft set ever made, and the 5th largest minifigure scale set ever made, which is crazy because we still have one more set to go. So 2016 was an amazing year for big sets. So this was $110, which is bonkers crazy. But I remember picking it up at Walmart 50% off, which felt like a pretty good deal. And this set is really different because it really leans into the modular aspect of Lego Minecraft, far more than any set that we've looked at before, and probably more than any set that would come after it too. You get 5 instruction booklets in the set. The first one, and the most important one, teaches you how to assemble many different modules. The modules that make up this base here. And the remaining 4 booklets give you directions on how to use all those sub-assemblies to make various structures. It's kind of crazy. Let's take a look at these. So book 1 ends with you having completed all of these bad boys. And then you can see you get to choose your own adventure. One of them obviously is going to be the model that you see on the box, the model that I have constructed here. Then you've got the only vertically displayed instruction booklet in the set where you can just stack everything on top of each other to make a massive tower. That's pretty awesome. And there's a Technic ad on the back. What is the crossover between Minecraft and Technic fans? I feel that's a interesting ploy there. Man, I feel like I've never seen these sets before. I'm so out of the loop on Technic, and obviously have been for at least a decade. 4 takes you in the opposite direction rather than stacking them all on top of each other. What if you put them in a giant line? I imagine this would go edge to edge on my table. It's huge. And then the last one is kind of just an alternate castle, which is also very cool. A little more open rather than the completely surrounded wall of the box model, but a little more dynamic and a little more interesting perhaps too. So for the sake of this video, we're mostly going to be looking at the A model and all the components that make it up. Perhaps some of the most important of which are the minifigures. So you get 3 skeletons in this set, and between them, you've actually got a full set of iron armor for skeletons at least, which is nice to see. You get a fully kitted out gold Steve, and just by nature of Lego gold, pearl gold being much more interesting than Minecraft's almost cheese looking gold, Steve looks awesome. Beyond that, Steve is guarding some of his favorite animals, like another adult sheep. And then the set includes LEGO Minecraft's first ever horse, the dark orange horse. This introduced a brand new horse head mold at the time, one that is still in production today, and they're slowly but surely giving us some more variety to the horses. The orange horse in particular has been redone, but it had a different print on it, meaning that this piece is indeed still exclusive to the set. So let's take the skeletons out here for a second and take a look around the castle walls. There's some pretty cool stuff going on here and some great incorporation of what I would call Lego redstone. And you can see that right up front by the gates here. This is intended to be a pressure plate, and I think it does a fairly good job of looking like it. It's a stone pressure plate. Pushing that down actually launches both doors wide open, much like you see people doing in game with pressure plates. That's a really cool function. Talk about a grand entrance. I love that so much. Simple mechanism, but once again, done really, really well. You've also got a garden around the front out here, and then we've got our two main towers with special, I believe, exclusive to this set, banners. A lot of the outer wall is gonna be pretty boring. A lot of 2x4 light bluish gray bricks. This is the stable that we'll take a look at in a second. And then we've also got some dispensers here with some flick fire arrows on the side. I'm guessing this wall would play a much more important role in some of the other buildings. Going on the inside, you can see that one of these modules here is essentially a prison. I don't know who you'd put in here, but it's a fun concept. It's got an iron door, and much like the doors up front, there's a little bit of a mechanism to open it, a lever, I guess you could call it. Simple, just throws the door open, and then you can lock whoever back inside. And there's iron bars all the way around, really cool. Lots and lots of nozzle pieces in this set. Lots of nozzle pieces being produced in LEGO Minecraft 2016 in general. The other tower has a crafting table on the second floor, and then just a hallway in the bottom, nothing too crazy. There's also an internal garden with sugarcane and wheat, and a bucket. On the other side over here, you'll find a pretty nice armor station, an armor stand for Steve to put all his gold gear, and then a chest with every color of sword in the game. Bear in mind, Steve's got the gold one. And so this is surprisingly one of only 2 sets to include the wood sword. The stables in the back are really cute. One is indeed sheltered, and you can obviously imagine this being used for other parts of the castle in different configurations of the set. And then there's lots of flowers on the inside too, as well as a campfire. You actually get 3 little fires, and they're all really nicely placed atop of nether brick. So you can tell the designer here was doing his homework. You'll love to see it. It's certainly not the most complex LEGO Minecraft set ever, but I think it really, once again, kind of just embodies what the game is all about. Imagine if you had like 2 of these, the crazy things you could construct with all these modules. At one point, you could get it for 55 bucks at Walmart, so you could have gotten 2 for the price of 1. That would have been pretty awesome, but dang, do I miss those crazy sales. I hear that they still happen sometimes, but it ain't like it used to be. But I mean, back in 2016, 2017, you could pretty much rely on every LEGO Minecraft set to be at least 50% off, if not more, at some point at Walmart, and I do miss those days. Before I get to the last and largest set of 2016, I want to highlight 2 of the best things to come out of the year, and those were both skin packs. These were indeed released in 2016 and would have been LEGO's first attempt to do a non-Steve or Alex in a set. And these to this day remain some of LEGO Minecraft's greatest minifigures. They're absolutely decked out in detail. Leg printing on all of them, front and back torso printing, and tons of custom heads. This is where my all-time favorite LEGO Minecraft minifigure, Side-Eyes Guy, came from. Generally speaking, these aren't too expensive to pick up now. Used versions of the figures go for about $4 to $6 on Bricklink, and I believe I picked up the sealed ones, granted a couple years ago, for about 25 bucks each. If you don't have these as part of your collection and have some spare funds set aside, I can't recommend these enough. These are some of my all-time favorite LEGO Minecraft products. I'm not gonna go too much more into detail on each individual figure, as I've done an extensive video on both of these before, which I will definitely link below. I think you'll enjoy seeing these guys up close. But anyway, somehow we've got a set larger than the 6th largest LEGO Minecraft set that also happened to come out in 2016. We had better take a closer look. Behold, my friends, the village. This was LEGO Minecraft's first ever direct-to-consumer set, and at the time, unsurprisingly, the largest LEGO Minecraft set. At 1,600 pieces exactly and $200, this was uncharted territory for the theme. But LEGO tried their best to make this worth your while. It is expansive. I don't know the exact stud measurements here, but I mean, take a look at that bad boy. That is incredible. And LEGO did a great job of including some of the most iconic village structures. Now, bear in mind, this is obviously based off the older version of the village, but I think a lot of these remain recognizable even to today. We've definitely got to take a look at the mobs and minifigures included here, many of which are very, very rare and special. First up, you've got two pigs, an adult and a baby. You've got Steve, surprisingly with no armor. You would think on the big direct-to-consumer set he would get something really fancy like a full suit of diamond or something, but nope, he's just got a simple iron sword, so good for him. You've also got Alex, no armor either, just a diamond pickaxe. Great to at least get both of them at the time. You know, that was pretty much all LEGO Minecraft was offering up outside of the skin packs. You've got a regular zombie, a regular old Enderman, and then you got what would have been the first LEGO Minecraft villagers. The texturing has changed a bit over the years. They used to have the furrowed brow lines on the top of their heads, which I love, and I think this is due mostly to the texture of the actual villagers perhaps changing over the years as well. But the little bit of extra detail is always something I'm gonna be on board with. So you got a generic farmer in this set, and then you got the pretty legendary librarian. This figure is exclusive to this set, certainly one of the rarest and most expensive LEGO Minecraft figures that you can find, but also largely irrelevant because they have obviously retextured what the librarians look like. So as cool as this figure would be to have in your collection, definitely not worth the expense. I want to say this figure is going for at least 50 bucks, but that might be very optimistic. It could be going for a lot more these days. The other exclusive figure in this set, which still is really cool and a bit more useful than the axed villager all these years later, is the zombie villager. The only part exclusive to this figure, of course, is the head, but once again, you get a little bit of extra detail, something that they didn't include in the more recent versions of the zombie villager. So this guy is also insanely expensive, but really, really, really cool minifigure. It's just too bad that he was exclusive and there's only one of him in this very hard to get set. In this set, you also get an iron golem, of course, to defend the village, and he is identical to the one in the smaller iron golem set. Much like the fortress, this set is very modular, not so much customizable, but divisible because you can't pick this thing up. It is very fragile, and that is one thing I do respect about modern LEGO Minecraft sets. They do a great job with the durability. To get an expansive world like this is so cool. It's okay if you gotta divvy things up to carry it around. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at each individual section one by one and see what it has to offer. The first section is going to be the desert, and the whole village set does span a variety of biomes, which is really fun. And this desert section gives you two important structures: the well, the essential bit of a village that makes a village, and then you've also got a lamppost, one of the classic lamppost designs. There's some desert plants lying around like the dead bushes and the cactus, and you've also got a water bucket here too. Super simple, but you can see that we do have the village gravel path that does a great job of connecting all the buildings in the village. And the modules are all just connected by a variety of these 2x4 sections. The next section is more custom, not exactly what you would find in a regularly 1.8 spawning village, but really quite fun. And this gets the idea of villager trading across. This is a trading booth. And so the librarian has all his wares for sale on the table here, as well as a chest load of emeralds. So really interestingly, you can find the 1x1 Eye of Ender in this set, the same one that was included in the Stronghold, the End Portal set. This was the first set to include the square cake, which also made that specific tile very, very expensive until it was eventually repurposed many years after this set was released. And this is all built into a jungle, so we're crossing over into the jungle biome over here. And this is, I'm guessing, meant to represent a tall fern. Oh, and I totally forgot to mention there's a creeper minifigure in here here too. He's just blending in the background. The next section is one of my favorites. This, of course, is the iconic blacksmith, one of the most important structures in any village. I just made one for my Savannah village as well. Back in the day, this was the only village structure to actually have a chest in it, which made it all the more important. So it's built up on a nice base here, plenty sturdy. And the best part of this is that it hinges open. It's just a really unique opening mechanism and super fluid, very clean. There's a bit of technique around the back, but it's nothing too jarring in my opinion. And you can get a much better view of everything going on inside. Ironically, they've included all the essential details except the most important part, which I already talked about, which is the chest. And I'm guessing that's just because chests are honking huge. They take up a 2x6 stud footprint, which is a little ridiculous, and that would have eaten up a lot of the room and looked probably pretty stupid. But you get the same old details that I'm so used to seeing in these structures. This set in particular definitely takes me back to a different era in Minecraft, and I love it. You can remove these furnaces too. It's just that standard build. No lit version yet. That is a feature that would be coming in future sets. You got the lava in here and everything. Really, really cool section. And an unusual bit is the 6x6 tile that you also saw in the well used for the roof. So it's really smooth too. All the buildings stand out from the terrain a lot because they are all, for the most part, tiled or at least jumpered off. Moving on to the next section, this is the library, another iconic structure of the time. And one of the more useful ones too, because I don't know about you, but I always stole the books from these things. Once again, like I mentioned earlier, just tons and tons of tiles making up the roof. It hinges open to reveal a very authentic interior with the crafting table, the chair, the table, the bench, and then even some bookshelves, which you can indeed easily remove. They're just attached by the jumper on the ceiling. That's a really great touch. The only artistic liberty that was taken here is the addition of a cobweb in the attic, and I am all for that. Great stuff. Next up is another very recognizable house, but one that's perhaps not all that interesting. In game, this structure had no interior, and reflecting that, this structure also has no interior. They've at least put a torch on it. The more interesting stuff is happening around the base, where we're now in some sort of snowy plains or other icy biome. You've got water freezing here, plenty of blocks to mine, and actually underneath the structure, you'll find some emerald ore hidden away amongst the mushrooms here. Pretty cool. This gives you a taste of kind of that crazy terrain generation that you'll sometimes find these villages in. Great stuff. It is crazy how many village buildings and houses there are and how few villagers there are in this set. Here's the butcher's shop. So you've got not only a door on the front, but you've also got the door to the back to the little fenced in area, just like you'd find in game. There's pumpkins around both sides. This, much like the library, hinges open to reveal a very familiar interior with the butcher block and then a table off here in the corner as well. You've got plenty of windows. Simple interior. You got lots of jumpers on the floor, so easy to pose minifigures, but especially around the outside, looks pretty perfect, honestly. Really love it. And then the last section here is going to be the farm that you'll find in the middle of the village. So you've got the player built pen for the pigs. You can put both pigs in here. On the box art of the set, it's always had the baby pig on the lantern, so I had to put it there too. And then you've got a really nice garden here with plenty of wheat, potatoes, and then carrots, and you can actually harvest the carrots, just pull them out of the ground. So yeah, a positively bonkers set. I just love the attention to detail that was pretty unexpected and pretty unprecedented for this era of Minecraft that you find in the buildings in particular. It's a lot of fun. Obviously would have been great to get maybe a handful more villagers for this set, but of course they would have all been rendered irrelevant with the big villager update that came just a few years after this set. It is definitely one of the greatest LEGO Minecraft sets of all time. I'd love to see another direct-to-consumer village like this at some point. We are indeed getting a new substantial village this summer, also a Plains village like this one, but it'll never quite hit as hard as having this much stuff. 2016 truly was a year like no other for LEGO Minecraft. It wouldn't be too shocking to me if one of these sets covered today was your all-time favorite. In the last 10 years, the theme has changed a great deal, influenced of course by the continued development of the core game itself, and also by LEGO's shifting priorities in the post-COVID era. There are certainly a lot of improvements. Modern sets tend to introduce a lot more new prints and pieces, the builds often look better, and thankfully there's a lot more variety when it comes to skins in regular box sets. But there's obviously a lot of great things to find in 2016. The ambition of the sets is undeniable, and the sprawling, easily connected base plates really gave these more of a sandbox feel in contrast to the much more focused sets of today. Modularity was a key component of many of these sets, something that LEGO doesn't utilize nearly often enough here in 2026. And I love how you are encouraged to take apart the sets and try and build something new. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these sets. Do you own any of these? Would you like to see the skin packs return? Let's talk about it in the comments. As always, thank you so much for sticking it out here to the end. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have yourself a fantastic life, and I'll see you again soon.